This is just an update to let you know what's going on in December. It gets well below freezing down here every night right now, but we still do have some things growing. Like we planted these garlics a while ago, just late November, and they've started to come up. They're starting to put their roots down. That's good. And also we've got some red onions, but these came from onion sets. They're going well. And then in here we've got a load of leeks, so they've hopefully will slowly get going over the winter. Like cabbages and things and cauliflowers, probably, I don't know, all these managed to grow very well. I don't know, the frost may kill them, but they just may survive. Actually, I've got some celery. I never grow celery because it doesn't ever. I've never been successful, but I don't know. I've put 4 in, see if they're any good. That's pak choy. That's another experiment. They just happen to have some pak choy in the shop. Actually, there's quite a lot going on here, really. There's some lettuces I put in. There's some lettuces I put in November. They're doing quite well, and yeah, that could almost supply us with a bit of lettuce. And these are probably, the growth rate is now so slow after the strong frost we have every night. But these are our kale. These are fantastic, these kales. So delicious. And they were having a hard time with aphids. That's one good thing about the cold. The aphids don't like it so cold, so it tends to kill them. I've got a few more leeks growing here than I grew from seed, but they seem to be growing very slowly. But maybe if they get going a bit, I'll be able to plant them out later. Still got a little tiny bit of lettuce going from the summer lettuce. It's having a bit of a hard time in the cold. That's some onions. They're called babosa, which actually translates as slug. Some slug onions. And in this bed I planted a load of garlic, but they haven't come up yet. And I've got some more garlics here. See these? I'll be planting those in a few minutes if I've got time. Oh, wait a minute. Let's just see how thick this ice is. Oh yeah, look. The ice is pretty thick. There's a lot of ash in here. Yeah. That's like 3/4 of a centimetre. So they must be getting pretty cold at night down here to have that thickness of light. These are more cabbages. I don't know, these seem quite healthy. No, actually, I think these are cauliflowers. That'd be great to get some cauliflowers in January or February. And some more cabbages. Don't know how well these will do. Oh, look, great. Look at this. That's a bit of broccoli. That actually self-seeded itself. And actually, look, that looks like those weird broccoli actually more than. That's great. That self-seeded itself. These are peas, but peas are supposed to be really hardy, but they seem to be a bit suffering. Don't think we're going to get much out of those. This is some of my favourite thing. That anyone who lives in a cold winter climate should have these. This is Perpetual spinach. Absolutely fantastic crop. It's like very similar to beetroot. Survive any amount of cold. And even actually in the lockdown we were using these as salad because we couldn't get to the shop to buy any lettuce. different sort of kale. Oh, here. It's very near to Christmas Day, and these are our Brussels sprouts. I don't know how good can you see them? Brussels sprouts. They're not that brilliant, but some of them are a bit blown. Some of them are a bit blown, but still going to be delicious. So what have we got over here? Oh, actually, these are leeks. They've sort of grown on their own almost. I dug them up, but they're still actually, a few of them survived. Look at that. Nice bit of broccoli there. Is it self-focusing okay? I must have planted these in about October. They look like they're suffering a bit in the cold though. That's the remains of last year's sweet corn. It looks quite attractive really. Oh, and I coppiced my willow. See all this lot? This is free wood that I'm going to make all sorts of things out of. This is the wood for my woodshed. Oh, you ever seen a khaki tree? I think in English they're called persimmon. Let's just have a look. We've got an entire khaki tree here, but see how weird they look against the blue sky. Well, I don't really like the trouble is I don't like them. But mind you, if you eat them when they're really, really almost rotting like this, oh, I'll taste one. It's really sweet. That's actually quite good. If you eat them when they're almost rotting, then they can be quite nice. But they have this like rather unpleasant sort of tanniny taste type thing. If they're not totally right. See, there's a little pond. I bet there's some frogs in there somewhere. Oh, Meg's come out. Hi, Meg. Oh, Meg's picked up a piece of metal on a magnet. What are you doing with the nail, Meg? Meg comes out and plays with me on the garden. But anyway, see this? This is the base of the willow tree, and you see, I planted that about, I could actually count the rings. I planted that about 9 years ago from a tiny cutting I got off a willow tree, and I've coppiced it twice so far. Got absolutely tons of wood out of it, which you can use for all sorts. You could use it for like growing beans up and all sorts of stuff like that. And these are the gooseberry plants. I ought to take a couple of cuttings off those really, because if you take them at this time of year and you put them in the if you put them in a pot, they'll grow roots. And this is the job I've got to be doing soon. This is these are the grapevines. These are actually table grapes. I've got to take all this growth off. And I've got to do that. I've got 800 of them up to do. 800 vines. That's quite a lot of work. Anyway, it's an absolutely beautiful summer day. Sorry, I mean winter's day. Oh, by the way, hey Meg, come here, Meg. She's gonna come. You see that thing on Meg's neck? That's a tracker. Aren't you, Meg? You're a high-tech cat. We know wherever you go now. And you go and see your boyfriend over there. Go and see your boyfriend, don't you, eh? So we track Meg where she goes now. But we're trialling a few of these tracking systems. Because when we got back the other day, she wasn't here, and it was doing our heads in. So we decided to get a tracker, so we know where she is every single moment. But there might be a few problems with how long the battery lasts. But we're gonna like test it out to see how long the battery actually lasts. Well, it's a beautiful winter day. There you go. Bye.